Welcome back to Filmmaker Reacts, and today we're going to be looking at none other than Watchdogs Legion's Tipping Point by Alberto Mielgo. If you don't know, Watchdogs Legion is the newest game in the Watchdogs franchise coming out, set in a dystopian future London, which isn't too far off from real London. But they've gone ahead and made a pretty cool short film for the game's trailer with Alberto Mielgo, and we're going to be looking at that over here. Today we have our trusty bourbon, and it is stronger than any oppressive regime. So make yourselves at home, since we're going to be going through the video twice, once with just pure reactions since it's a pretty short video, and then we're going to go through it again, and I'm going to try and analyze it for you.
The illegal paintings spreading subversive and hostile messaging over the last few weeks across London are not the work of several people as was originally believed, but the work of an individual. The criminal suspected to have links with the terrorist group Filmmaker is marked as to be dangerous.
Love the art style.
Recommend not to approach the individual.
First, they came for the foreigners, and I did not speak out because I was not a foreigner.
What a kick.
Then they came for the protesters, and I did not speak out because I was not a protester.
Oh. Whoa.
Then they came
That
for the
jump, though.
And I did not speak out because I was not a journalist. And then they came for street artists. And I did not speak out because I am not a street artist.
Pretty cool shot there. I love how he's just surfing on the bus, on a London bus. Yeah, I was gonna... Obviously. Ooh.
And I realized that eventually
They look like...
they'd come for me.
He looks like a Gorillaz character, but more lifelike. That's what tech can do, man. They're easy to find.
Where are we off to, sir? Okay, sorry, miss. Jesus! All right, so we're in a total mess now, so let's get the hell out of here.
Very reminiscent of real black cabs.
And there's nothing more debilitating than that. This way, not to be able to do what you're passionate about.
After a long night, London is in chaos. The main arteries through the city are blocked. Hundreds of heavy
Some mute over there. Or Thatcher.
Welcome to the Resistance. There's a welcome gift for our new members.
But the disappearance of the criminal
You could have told me it was a bloody costume party.
has been raised.
Try it on.
The new key suspect has been identified as David Ford, a 43-year-old London taxi
Yep.
driver. He has no criminal record, but is currently believed to be a terrorist. People have been asked
Poor
not
guy.
to approach him. The authorities advise all residents.
There you have it. So the art style is incredible off the bat. I love the art style. I actually am going to do another video on the behind the scenes of how this was made. I haven't actually seen that video yet, but I'm really interested to find out how exactly it was made, because some of these shots I can't really decode. But let's just go through what I can.
The illegal paintings.
So immediately setting the scene, establishing where we are, Piccadilly Circus, London, double-decker bus. Pretty easy to understand where we are. Very gritty. The soldiers, you understand that there's like some kind of martial law in place or whatever, and immediately you know it's not normal London. In case you don't know, the regular police in London do not carry weapons, or firearms rather. So immediately it's like, oh, something's off. Second of all, they're not even police. They have some other badge on.
Spreading subversive and hostile messaging over the
You get your GBB, which is basically supposed to be BBC
last few weeks across London,
news coverage.
are not the work of several people, as was originally,
Very cool, kind of like very fisheye lenses here.
but the work of an individual. The criminals
The old CTR monitor television, I don't know why.
suspected to have
Also a very good recreation of the corner shops in London, in, you know, England generally, but specifically in London. These kind of like little long corner shops that you go into, and they have like a little bit of everything. Obviously you have one of the law enforcement robbing the dude for some freaking, what is that, like Snickers and Bounty bars. You got like very true to life. I mean, I'm not surprised. Ubisoft are really good at doing their research, environmental research, and finding out exactly what a place looks like, even back, you know, hundreds and thousands of years ago. So for them anyway, it's pretty expected of them rather to have a very accurate representation. And a lot of attention to detail here. Even like the flooring, the kind of tile floor, like, you know, the kind of, I don't even know what that is, but that flooring is like so prominent in pretty much every corner store. And the dialect, I mean, you can't even hear what they're saying, but the oi, you know. See over here, see right there, it does such a great job of establishing it. You might not even think it, but it does such a great job of establishing these law enforcement as thugs just through the way that they shoot. The bang, bang, you know, like kind of untrained, primal kind of instinctual shooting, and, you know, running around like thugs just kind of shooting in the middle of the streets. Even if he wasn't robbing the store, that in itself is expressive enough. And that is the whole thing with this trailer, but with expressiveness. And it is so expressive in the way that they move, the way the characters behave on screen. There is a lot of implications there. So if you're paying attention, this was really good direction for just even little things like that. You know?
authorities recommend not to approach.
You know, you got a lot of graphic design going on here.
First, they came for the foreigners, and I did not speak out because I was...
Again, really cool, like almost like handheld footage, like World Star fight thing going on there. You got the website,
not a foreigner.
you know, showing the news. This is pretty close to what a London underground looks like, except obviously without all this graffiti, it's a lot more cleaner. But this is a dystopian future. You know, would it be dystopian if it was all clean and dandy? I've seen plenty of people not being chased by police just jump in these gates in real life. These drones are so cool. I wonder, you know, to me, this whole thing looks like it's a mixed medium thing, where some of it is 3D, some of it is real pictures, and some of it is real actors, and some of it isn't. I can't tell. This is why I really want to see that behind the scenes video. But I want to see that, but I want to watch that first time while I'm recording it for you guys, because I really am curious to find out.
They came for the protesters, and I did not speak out.
All right. If you even look at here, by the way, look at this attention to detail. It's so incredible. At the ad at the top of the page is actually keeping you safe. It's supposed to be like propaganda, but modern propaganda. And you know, I'm sure you've heard so much about it in terms of like modern propaganda on social media, on websites and things that get shoved in our faces, similar to wartime posters, except, you know, they're more political now. But you're seeing that kind of be pushed to an extreme over here. But you wouldn't even notice it because this just kind of goes by like in a flash. But if you stop and you'll read all the top stories and everything, and it's just officially for sale. The way that news media generally in real life, the kind of fear mongering that they thrive off of, you know, pitting people against each other, creating polarization. You know, I mean, I'm kind of getting deep into it, but this game is all about that. The message of this game is so evident throughout every single shot in this trailer. And it is just really good attention to detail.
Because I was not a protester.
Again, very accurate. Love that shot, by the way. That composition. Let's go back for a second, shall we? It's this quadrant. I think it's called quadrant framing. It's very, very prominent in Mr. Robot, the TV show. If you've seen that, where you split the picture into four, so a line down and then line through the middle. As in like vertically and horizontally, and then you place your subject there somewhere. And the way they've used this reflection from the walls, which are technically not even reflective that much, but it gives you this full idea of what's happening while making the character feel cornered, because they are literally visually cornered. It is clever framing. It's not for no reason. It's not just to look cool. It does look super cool, but what makes something good versus what makes something great is good just looks cool. Great has a reason to look that way too. And like these little like jumps of animation, I'll stop it there later in a little bit. You know, you have like the modern fashion and all these people kind of like looking at what's going on. That jump has to be something, obviously.
Then they came for the journalist.
Again, the out of focus, in focus, you know, given a very real feel. I don't know if that's real or not. I can't tell if that's a real person or not. But the proportions seem a little bit off, but at the same time, not terribly.
But I did not speak.
I think that guy's a real person. Again,
I was not a journalist.
Again, cornering the guy. This constant surveillance, this theme of constant surveillance, that we are always being watched. You know, the theme of Big Brother watching over you. I mean, it's been talked about in so many different movies and TV shows and so many different, you know, mediums. But it's a true one, especially more today than ever before. We have so many accusations of different companies spying on us, and different companies actually are spying on us, some of them. The government spying on us, and da-da-da-da-da. We are being always watched. And this game is talking about that a lot. You know, this power that comes with surveillance. How much are you willing to sacrifice for your security? These are questions that are, you know, you wouldn't even think about it until you start reading into the trailer. But look at the trailer. Look at where the camera is zooming in. I didn't notice this until right this second, by the way. That poster of the eye, the all-seeing eye. You're being watched all the time. Obviously, we saw that guy get recognized instantly by cameras. But this idea that we live in a CCTV kind of city. You know, London is a CCTV city. For the most part, it's for safety, but at what point is it too much?
And then they came for street artists.
Like this shot, like the vivid colors and the lighting, everything about this is so beautifully done. Oh man, that's 3D.
I did not speak.
The car might be real. Look at this. In between the guy shouting, look at this mixed medium kind of stuff going on. Like he turns into a doodle of this guy saying bark. It's like a hand-drawn doodle with some static behind them. You know, this kind of driving the point home, similar to cutting twice on an action, similar to like in how in fighting cinema, like in fight scenes in cinema, like if you cut twice on an impact, it makes it more impactful. Showing the same thing multiple times with thin different like styles immediately, like right after you might not even notice it, but you do notice it.
Because I am not.
And this whole thing is about graffiti. You know, and graffiti's about like kind of being rebellious.
Street artist.
This shot kind of baffles me because this looks like a real picture, and they've kind of masked out over or along the fence to where she jumps onto that drone. I think that's what's happening. Again, what a cool shot. You know, you have her in front of the poster, like just constantly surrounded by technology, unable to get away from it. Weaving through the streets of London. And this idea, as she's about to hit this bus over here, this idea that you are in this claustrophobic environment in a city where you can't even get away from it without just running into crap and obstacles. Oh yeah, there we go. The bus surfing, so cool. Like all these vivid colors, all the framing, all this hectic stuff going on. But it's so cool. And such an accurate representation of London, both in what I've seen from the game itself and in this trailer. Love that, like, woo, like kind of the camera moves forward and gets kind of pulled back on that red light to kind of mimic the movement of what's about to happen to her as the bus stops and she goes like flying off like a slingshot. Boom.
And I realized that eventually they'd come for me.
And you have this over-exaggerated eyes on this character as, you know, eyes are the window to the soul. That is more true in film than probably like anything else. You know, you can't really see someone's eyes in a book or whatever, but the eyes here show this guy's kind of thought process, his worry, his fear, but at the same time, his empathy. You know, and they've done such a good job of portraying that. I think this guy is 3D or mixed, you know, so like they've overlaid a 3D face on an actual actor. I don't know.
And there would be no one left to
See, but like these over exaggerated eye movements. There you go. Bam, bam, bam. Oh, that art style again. Surveillance thing again.
Where are we off to, sir? Okay, sorry, miss. Jesus! All right, so we're in a total mess now, so let's get the hell out.
You see like how everybody else is kind of calm as all this is happening. And that is pretty reminiscent of actual big cities, whether it be in London, New York, wherever. People generally don't care what happens to you. They just ignore it. So everything else is calm. Even though the city's being oppressed. Even though this, you know, malicious force is ruling over it. If it doesn't affect people directly, and that is the point of this trailer, by the way. You know, I didn't care when it was foreigners. I didn't care when it was journalists. I didn't care when it was activists. And then you realize, eventually it'll affect you, right? So that's the thing, like, with big cities, as long as something doesn't affect people directly, they don't tend to care that much. Now, there are exceptions, of course, and there are occasions that kind of shine a little bit of hope into these cities. And I'm not saying that most cities are like this necessarily, but it can be like this on certain occasions, and this is one of those examples. And you have this kind of vintage looking old black cab that even today you would have a difficult time finding these. They're all like EVs now, you know, electric cars now, or hybrids. Look nothing like this anymore.
And there's nothing more debilitating than that. This way, not to be able to
In the
do
pub.
what you're passionate about.
After a long night, London...
There's a really cool bit coming up here.
The main arteries of the city are blocked.
You know, you have this guy turning to the camera again. Fisheye lens really everything is super exaggerated. Coming in close with a fisheye lens, distorting the face.
Hundreds of heavily armed Albion...
Look at this in a minute.
Well, welcome to the Resistance.
Kind of this feeling of being watched by everybody. All these eyes on him. That's Bandit, by the way. I didn't even realize that. That's Bandit from Siege. If you've ever played Rainbow Six Siege, the guy on the left, the second from furthest left with the electric stun gun, it's Bandit.
Welcome gift for our new members.
But the disappearance of the criminal...
You could have told me it was a bloody...
Look at this. Look at the way they're about to look at the TV to divert your attention. This is a technique really prevalent in theater, actually, where actors will like look at a thing and kind of get your attention to look at a particular place. They do that here. It's so effective. You wouldn't even notice it, but your eye is drawn naturally to where other people kind of flick theirs to, because it's a survival thing, right? If you're living in a tribe back in, I don't know, 2300 BC or whatever, and everybody just looks at one direction, chances are you miss something that's pretty important that could be life or death for you. But anyway, they use that here pretty well.
Try
Look,
it on.
The new key suspect...
boom, everybody looks up. Everybody looks up. Immediately our attention is directed up, so that is really good kind of blocking of the actors. If you don't remember what blocking is, it's the predetermined timings for things to happen in a particular place in a particular way.
Has been identified as
And that
David,
directs his attention up as well.
a 43-year-old London taxi driver. He has no criminal record, but is currently believed to be a terrorist. People have been
There we go.
asked not to...
Look at his nose. See, that's not a human. That is a 3D rendering over here anyway, but I feel like it might be kind of a mixed thing again. I don't know. We'll see.
Authorities advise all residents...
Reclaim your future, blah, blah, blah. There you have it. So many messages put into this little 3-minute, 55-second video that captures the essence of the game in probably the best way possible. It doesn't really show off anything gameplay related like the Sleeping Dogs trailer did, but it definitely captures what the message of the game is, what the plot and the story and the themes of the game are going to be about, and sort of kind of touches upon a lot of current political and social climate stuff. And really, that's where a lot of media gets its inspiration from. Usually films and the TV shows and books and stuff are a reflection of the time in which they were made. And this is a representative of our society today. Now, have there been things that have talked about this stuff previously? Yes, but it is much more close to home here because it is a lot more accurate. It's not a speculative thing. It's based upon things that are kind of going on at the moment. Ubisoft's done a really good job of capitalizing on that, on doing some social commentary that isn't super duper overt. I mean, it is much more overt than pretty much anything else that's out right now, but at the same time, doing it in a very well executed manner that it actually works with the game and isn't something that is being shoved down your throat and then you have the game. You see what I mean? They kind of coexist together very well. I think it's really cool. Regardless of what your political beliefs and opinions and all that are, I'm sure you can agree that the way that Alberto Mielgo and the team behind this film were able to capture all that is really impressive. If you have any more stuff you want me to react to, put that in the comments below, or DM me on Twitter, on Instagram, or email, or Discord, or your social media of choice. If you're new around here, consider subscribing, and until next time, stay creative.